Hi everyone. As you are closing everything up with your chapters 1 and 2, I just want to remind you that my intent is to really assist you to have a stellar project in the end, and we need to lay that very solid foundation. So just remember that my feedback and comments are to help you to be successful in the long run with your scholarly project. And this is sort of your legacy for your master's program. So we want to make sure that it actually reflects you and your caliber. So there's a couple of things I do want to mention. Track changes when I'm providing feedback on the paper. Make sure that you take a look at the feedback, and some of those you can just accept as far as the track changes. And keep in mind that sometimes I type in comments, so don't accept those because my comments will be then embedded in your paper. So you'll need to get rid of those comments as you add the information that you need to add, or change the information whichever the comment was regarding. So if you need assistance in working with track changes, let me know as far as accepting those or working within the paper that it does have track changings. The other thing is make sure that you ask questions if you need clarification on comments, or if my comments are unclear, or if the changes are unclear. As you are finishing your chapter 1 and 2 and making all those changes, just remember that you will be building on that paper. So you need to make the corrections, address the comments, and get it in a stellar format so that once you have all your information or data or your project, you will add your next chapters to these 2 chapters. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you do that right now when it's fresh on your mind, because it will be helpful. Again, we're building, so you won't be submitting your chapters 3 and 4 separately. Next time you will be adding your chapters 3 and 4 to your chapters 1 and 2. So I just wanted to be real clear about that. Next stage is IRB, and some of you already have IRB, but just remember that the primary purpose of IRB is to protect the participants of your particular project. And be sure to use those templates and really refer back to that checklist that's embedded in the course, because that will help you to get all those key points that IRB will be looking for. Remember, I have to review all your IRB forms before you formally submit those to IRB, and remember that you have to have any tools, any surveys, any emails that you're sending, possibly, and all of your consents and your debrief included with your IRB when you're submitting to IRB, and I need to look at those documents as well. When you cannot start the nuts and bolts of doing your project until you have IRB approval, so keep that in mind. Don't start before you have that green light to get started from IRB, so keep that in mind as well. So those are the key points. I do want to remind you that once you do get IRB, it's time to really dive in as far as doing your project, because you will actually be relating to the results of your project in chapters 3 and 4. So that is due March the 15th. So this is kind of a tight timeline. And if there's problems in adhering to this timeline, I really need to know, because we need to work through any challenges you may be having, so that we move the project along. And I know that there's bumps along the way, and please know that I understand that, and I will work with you with those to make sure that you have what you need to complete your project. And we may need to vary dates a little bit. So just to recap, make sure that you always remember that my comments are to help you, and sometimes it's overwhelming to get all the blue on your papers, but just kind of keep that in mind. Make sure that you do all the recommendations or corrections, because you're going to set the stage for the next phase of your project. So keep that in mind as you're working on IRB. If you have any questions, don't start your project until you actually have IRB. Then after that, you can get started with your project, and then your chapters 3 and 4 will reflect back onto what you found as you implemented your project. So if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. This is just kind of an interim update to make sure that you have all the information that you need to progress forward. Take care now. Bye-bye.